We've already talked about sweet snacks. Now let's talk about savory snacks. One of the most popular snacks in America is potato chips. And you might be surprised to know that if you make them yourself, you can actually make a healthy version at a fraction of the price, with less salt and less fat. Now, you can buy these little devices. This is an adorable little one. Won't take up much room in your dorm room or your tiny house. It comes with a rack and a slicer. You wash your potato. Most of these come with a guard. I'm not using it now because I'm not slicing the whole potato. I'm keeping my hand away from the blade. Once you have sliced the potatoes, they suggest you put them sideways. I find I like it better when I fold it over the edge, just like this, all the way around. I'm using an inexpensive russet potato that I have thoroughly scrubbed, but because I'm slicing it so thin, I don't even need to peel it. When we have this all filled, you could just microwave them for no more than 4 minutes, or if you have a more traditional chip appetite, we're going to add just a very small amount of fat, olive oil. This one is so small, I think I'll put the bigger one on there, but we'll leave the other ones. So, the olive oil, just one quick little spray. Now I did this over a bin because you don't want to get that spray all over the place. You could do it over the sink. And I have butter flavored popcorn salt. I'm just going to give it a very, very light sprinkling. You don't want too much salt. Now we're going to take this and put this in the microwave for, as I said, no more than 4 minutes. And this is what you get. Crispy, delicious, you can hear it, potato chips. My daughter even thought they tasted good. Now this isn't the only way to do it. Maybe you don't want to buy a separate rack. You just want to use what you have around. One device that's becoming very popular and very common is a spiralizer. And you can get it at all different price ranges. This one is a very simple one, and it even comes with a guard to help put the vegetable through it. Now the only trouble with this one is it makes the fine vegetable noodles. So what I did, and I'll tell you it wasn't easy, but I took needle-nose pliers and I ripped out all of the teeth that divide it into the individual threads. So what I got is a straight spiral like this. Spiralized. Now there are those spiralizers that give you a choice. This one is very nice because it opens up and it's very easy to clean. If you put these teeth out, you get the individual like noodles, or if you put it in when you close it, then it doesn't come with this particular guard, but with this one, and also this one is easier to hold. You've got these handles, this is a little smaller. So now, if I wanted to make the spirals, again, I would just turn it like that, and I would get the spirals. Here's another spiralizer, a beautiful one. And you'll have less likely to cut yourself. This one you could actually let a child do if you make sure they just don't do it too fast. One of the most common mistakes with spiralizer is pushing too hard, and then the potato or the vegetable break apart. But with this one, the blade is on the inside, and underneath you get these beautiful small ruffles of potatoes. This is a more fancy spiralizer. It has a bin that it goes into, it has a handle for you to turn it around, and it has different blade choices so that you simply put your vegetable on there. This will go down as you're spiralizing, and it puts the spiral This one is very fast and easy, and very importantly, I have found it is easy to wash. But that brings us back to our original premise. What has all of these spiralizers to do with making the potato chip? Well, you take your spiraled potato and a bamboo skewer. These are easy to find. I found at any grocery store or big box retailer. And you simply run the bamboo skewer through the spiralized potato, keeping a little distance between each one of them until you come up with this. You see, for the microwave, for it to crisp up, it's very important that they be separate, not touching other. I don't need this special little rack, which I would only use for potato chips, but it's small. It doesn't take up a lot of room. All I need is a pan with a straight edge. I can stick the bamboo skewer on there. Now, because this is a heavy pan, depending on the composition of your pan, it may be absorbing more energy. So it may not go the same amount of time in the microwave. And of course, whether it's a 700 watt or a 1000 watt microwave, it's best to watch it until you start to get the little bit of brown on it. It will not be crisp when you first take it out of the microwave. As it cools off, it gets more crisper. Again, you could simply cook this just like this, or give it a little spray and a very small dusting. One thing you really can do is transition. We in America seem to have this great desire to have everything salty. I know my husband does. If every time you make them you use just a little bit less salt, you will be surprised when you open up a bag of chips and taste it, and all of a sudden they taste too salty to you. It takes some time, but you would be surprised how you can re-educate your palate. But probably if you're a college student or a young person just out of school or high school on a small budget, you will be surprised the difference in the price. Especially if you go to a vending machine and buy one of those little packets of potato chips. We're going to show you the difference of what can be in the price. You don't even need a spiralizer to do it, to make the potato chips. If you have a way, like a food processor for example, or a mandolin, to cut them thin. This particular one is an electric cutter. Now, here's another completely different issue. With your electrical appliances, you have cords, especially if you have a number of them. And this is an easy way to control your cord. It's a rubber band and a bobbin. If you have any source of bobbin, it becomes a perfect little bungee to keep the cords, or whatever you want, in line. Rubber band, bobbin. But what we're going to do now is make sure it's off. We're going to plug this in. This, by the way, is a machine that you can't buy online except maybe eBay, because I don't believe they're making it anymore. But the idea is some kind of food processor or slicer that has a nice fine blade. I'm not going to talk when I have it on because it's noisy. If you're working with young children, a food processor can be one of your best options because there are so many guards against the blade, as long as you don't let them handle it once you take it apart. But I have found kids kind of get excited, sometimes even scared with the noise. It just adds to the anticipation. They love it. What you want to do if you buy an appliance for slicing is you want to be sure you have something that's easy to wash. It is so important. This part comes completely apart, and not the motor, but all the other parts, once you have removed the actual vegetable material, can go directly in the dishwasher. Now, if you don't have a rack to put your potato chips on, but you have sliced them nice and thin, you can simply suspend them on a bamboo skewer, because the skewer takes the microwave. And I'm putting them on the plate that will hold them so they're separate and individual. I think maybe this one, I'm not even going to put any salt on. Maybe just a little spray of the nonstick cooking spray, because the spray does help it crisp up a little bit better. And always, the amount of weight of the vegetable on the skewer will make a huge difference in the microwave of how fast it cooks. It may look the same to you, but if you don't have as much potato on there, this is another reason why you really want to watch it. It goes very quickly, but all of those factors, even the temperature of the potato, if it's really cold, it will take it longer to do. So again, just a little spray, and I'll microwave it starting at about 4 minutes, because this particular dish does absorb a lot of energy. If you want to know the particular dish that you're using, is it one that absorbs a lot of energy? Easiest thing to do is put a little bit of something, water or potato or whatever, and when it comes out, using pot holders, test very carefully how hot the pan is getting. Some pans are made out of plastic. They are the same kind of material that they use for nose cones on radar, because it goes completely through them and they stay cool and don't get hot. China and glass, especially melamine, can get very hot when it's in the microwave, and all of those things will depend on how long it takes to brown your potatoes.